Department of Education is passing a bill that will make it so as of 2026, unless you have a professional graduate degree, you will not be able to take out greater than $20,500 in student loans per year. You guys, this is a huge deal because as a mid-level, I took out $200,000 to go to PA school. My tuition alone was $120,000, and then cost of living, and then my undergraduate on top of that. You guys, I did not come from a family that could put me through PA school. I have a single mom, I have many siblings. I did this myself because I wanted to become a PA and I wanted to have the ability to help so many others and be a part of the healthcare systems. PAs are not doctors and we know that. NPs are not doctors and they know that. But we play such a vital role in the healthcare system. If you want to make change, then make change with tuition. Make it so that there is a tuition cap, not that we are being limited on who can go to school because we're not able to take out a certain amount of loans. I'm so fired up about this. You guys, please reach out to your representatives, make ourselves known, make it so that future PAs and NPs can join the practice and really help bridge the gap in our healthcare system.
So basically what's happening is there's this outrage on one hand, which I'm doing a completely different reaction video to. People are mad because other people are saying that associate's degrees are not degrees. That's a whole nother conversation, so we're going to address that. The other thing that I've been seeing in the algorithm, because people didn't even send me these videos, I had to go and find out what the heck was going on and why everybody was complaining, because I seen so many women that was mad at reclassification of different degrees in different fields of study. And a lot of it was tied to nursing, medical field, physician assistants, and all of that. And let me tell you why. It's because one thing that we have to do is we have to learn from the past. And the one thing that this administration does is it takes action. So when we seen that Democrats were leveraging, trying to forgive student loans in order to get people to vote for them, what's happening with the Department of Education and many other different things in the federal government is that they're redoing it so that people can basically put in safeguards against themselves, because it's not just these specific fields, but several different fields that are not generating the type of revenue, yet people are taking out $200,000, $100,000, $300,000 in loans, and then they'll come back and say, well, it's the government's fault. Okay, well, the government went and did something about it. They basically put caps and limits on the amount that you can borrow per year in order to go through some of these graduate degrees and professional fields, so that you're not handicapping yourself. And they are now reclassifying certain things so that people don't basically shoot themselves in the foot. Now you got people saying, oh, I need you to write your representative. Well, wait a minute. I thought that you said that you wanted the government to do something, but now they're still leaning into the Victim Olympics by saying, well, no, but we still want to do what we want to do, and we should be able to fulfill our dream, and we should be able to do this thing. Oh, it's not saying that people can't do it. It means that you have to take an alternative way or go to limit the amount that you're borrowing, and you may have to do some other things in order to go into that profession if you feel like that's something that you really, really want to do. Now, I'm not getting into the pay and the pay rates and stuff, but there's too many people in too many fields that go into them that don't and can't pay their student loans back, and then they ask the government for forgiveness, or they complain about the fact that they don't want student loans to be turned in, or they want to go in an income-based repayment plan. Can't do that anymore.
So I don't like to do this, but did you guys know that the Department of Education has now taken nursing completely out of a professional degree program? So if the healthcare system isn't broken enough and there's not already a shortage of nursing, by doing this, congratulations, you're going to be short 1 million other nurses. By not giving nurses the same amount of reimbursement or like educational loans that you do for other practices that are included in this, like MDs, veterinarians, chiropractors, podiatrists, people aren't going to go to school.
Here's the thing. It's so funny because I know women that actually went through a nursing program in community college, and they were able to graduate from that nursing program in community college. They did not have to take out student loans. They did not have to pay an egregious amount of money. They were able to go to literally Oakland Community College and get it at a fraction of the cost. And there are several other nursing programs and community colleges that do them. Now, you have to study your ass off and you have to qualify to get into the program and a bunch of other stuff. And I know that nursing programs exist at a much higher cost at major universities. And this is, again, just one example. But I know women that were able to do it and they did it at a minimal cost. And they are thriving in their career. So I think that education can be, a great tool. Absolutely, if you go about using it the right way, but you do not have to take out $200,000 in loans in order to become a nurse.
So apparently, my doctorate that I busted my tushy for is not going to be considered a professional degree. Cool. Oh, and they also did this to teachers too. So basically, getting your doctorate for nursing or education is now going to be a waste. So your ER wait time's going to go up. You want your medication? Good luck finding a nurse. You want someone to spend extra time with your kid because they need to be tutored? Good luck finding that higher level of education. Bravo.
So apparently nurse practitioner degrees are no longer going to be considered professional degrees under the new Department of Education proposed rules that go into effect next July. MDs and DOs, they are still considered professional. That makes complete and logical sense. However, NPs, not professional. CRNAs, not professional. PAs, not professional. But chiropractors, they are still considered professional under these new proposed rules. However, physical and occupational therapists do not fall under these professional degrees. They are not professional. Speech language pathologists, not professional. Theology and divinity degrees, yes, they are considered professional. However, teachers, the ones who are actually the ones teaching the entire country, are not considered professional. I truly cannot even put into words how much this does not make any sense. As someone who has been studying my ass off for 2.5 years in a doctorate of nursing practice program, completing clinical rotations and managing patients and sacrificing my time, my money, my sleep, and quite frankly, my sanity, to now be told that my profession is not professional is beyond disrespectful.
If you guys want to feel good about yourself, listen, you're not doing it for the Department of Education. If it's not in relevance, like any relevance to you pulling out more money or student loans and all of this stuff, if you're doing it for you, then do it for you. Why do you need validation from other people in order for you to actually feel as though you actually accomplished something? Why do you see that as disrespect? Who are you trying to prove it to outside of yourself?
To not just NPs, but to every single professional healthcare degree out there. NPs, CRNAs, PAs, PTs, OTs, SLPs, social workers, even teachers. Like, it is so disrespectful in so many ways to not
Social workers?
consider these professions professional enough to be worthy of loans. This decision doesn't just impact job titles, it impacts federal loan caps and affordability and access to education and the future workforce. It's all in all very insulting to every single advanced practice provider out there who works on the front line of a very broken system, but still chooses to show up for their patients every single day. So to the Department of Education, I don't know who came up with this list and how you guys decided on which profession is more professional.
I think it's a great idea. I think that we should start very much playing a role. I think that they need to go through liberal arts degrees. They need to go through these history studies, African American studies, underwater basket weaving degrees. I think they need to go through everything, and I'm all for it. With a fine tooth comb, so that we can start to really get to the thick of things and solve for the issues that we see happening in society and playing a role in our lives. That's my personal opinion. Let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off of life. What do you think about certain things not being designated as professional so that they can actually put a cap on how much money you can borrow because people were having trouble paying things back? I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to stay on top of it.